Hello and welcome to this video guide of how to install a cable into a buddy box. Okay, the first thing you need is a buddy box, a port kit, in this case it's called a moon jack, jubilee clip, and there's a special metal clamp. Now don't worry, you don't need to find all this stuff, it all comes with a buddy box when you get it from the stores. The only other thing we need is a bit of cable. So the cable that I'm going to install today is cost 600. I've stripped it down to the elements already and given myself a couple of meters of slack. If you're going to loop this, 2.7 meters is what you're going to need for a loop. And for this I've just left myself a couple of meters, enough to get into my tray, and I've cut my strength member at 7 centimeters. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get this moon jack open. So it's got a few different pieces to it. The first bit is a little white top, so if we unscrew that, the white top will come off. We can put that to one side. It's then got two clear pieces which can come off. They open up into two pieces, and then that will enable us to open up our moon jack rubber so we can get a cable inside. So when we put the cable in, we're going to sit the butt of the cable just below the rubber. Right, now what you'll notice is that this is very loose, so what we need to do is we need to build this cable up to 13 millimeters so it then sits tight onto the side of the moon jack. Now usually when you get this new, you get this black rubber that's got sticky on one side, and you just wrap that round and round until you build the rubber up. This is a training one, so the rubber's long gone, so I'm going to build it up using a piece of foam that I took from the POE kits and a little bit of tape to go on the end of that. So I offer it up, mark where the butt of the port kit's going to sit, and that's where I'm going to have to build this cable up. And all I'm going to do is wrap this foam round and round until it makes the diameter of the cable at 13 millimeters, like so. I then take my rubber, wrap it around, and it clamps together. It will still be slightly loose, that's not a problem. It's just going to hold that in place there. Now we're going to take my two clear pieces. Now what they've got is we've got the 4 little white spikes, and we've got little slot holes in here. So what we have to do is, do it with my left hand so you can see, slide them over the holes. Same on the other side, it's a little bit fiddly. And that will click into place. And that holds that bit in place there. Now next we need to do is take our white top, so we're going to have to thread that over our elements. So thread that over our elements. As that comes up, we can just screw that into place. Good screw. Right, so no need to graunch that. Once all the surfaces meet, we're good. We're ready to go. So that's how that sits. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put it into this clamp. So we're going to take our jubilee clip. You can either open up the jubilee clip, or you can thread that onto our elements as well. Is that the right way? And that's going to sit over the top of our moon jack. That's how. So it's still going to be loose at this stage. We're going to take our clamp, which will slide out. Now the clamp has got 3 notches where you can put 3 cable positions. So that's going to slot in there. So I'm going to use the first cable position. So I'm going to place that between the jubilee clip, through the jubilee clip, so it sits on to our port kit. And I'm going to tighten that up. No need to graunch that on, just so all surfaces is reasonably tight. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our strength member into our little clamp at the top. So it's going to sit in there. So if you're using a 36 ultra lightweight, you're going to have to wrap the steel around that. But the cost 600. Strength member into that. Again with that one. A little bit fiddly again. So that's going to clamp into there. So that's not going to go anywhere now. That's tight. Okay, so that's the clamp built. Excellent. Now the next thing we have to do is we're going to have to get it in to our position here. So this housing comes out. Now with a kit you're going to get 2 grey prongs. Now if they've gone missing, you will have all seen these before. These are our picks that we use. So all we have to do is slot one into one of the holes, and it will open that up, one into the other hole, and that will remove the whole piece, like so. We can then remove these. We don't need these anymore. You see they're all locked into place, so you do the same thing to go into the different entry ports. These are small knockouts, so you can knock these out. I've already knocked one out for my cable. Now what that's going to enable us to do is to bring our kit up. It will slot into the little rail, and it means our moon jack will sit just perfectly in the right position. Then we're going to take our housing, place that in, and lock that into place. So this bit should be flush, it shouldn't be sat out. If it's sat out from the box, it means you haven't done this quite right. So have a look inside here to make sure that it's gone into the prongs properly. So that's going to hold our cable into position. Yeah, and then we can move our elements up into the box later on. Now, this will act now, because we put our rubber around it, this is going to act like a little cup, and then we're going to fill this up to just under the top with resin 10B. I'm not going to do mine because it's a training one, but once that's filled with resin 10B, allow that to go off and our cable is fully installed. Thank you.